Welcome to the channel. Here, we provide clear, actionable insights into the complex world of tax and accounting to help your business thrive.
If you've got any assets here in the US, a home, a bank account, a business, you need to know about a legal landmine that could be waiting for your family. The good news? There's a really simple way to disarm it. We're going to break down exactly what a living trust is and why it's not just for the super rich. It's probably for you. So let's just stop and think for a second. What actually happens to everything you've worked so hard for? Your home, your savings, after you're gone? Who gets to decide what happens next? You? Your family? Well, here's the scary part. If you haven't planned ahead, you could be leaving your loved ones with a massive legal headache, a frustrating, expensive, and surprisingly public process called probate. Okay, so what is this thing called probate? Basically, it's the official court process that has to happen to validate a will and oversee how your stuff gets distributed. But here is the single most important thing to understand. The court is in control. Not your family, the court. And believe me, this process is a gauntlet. First, the court has to get involved. And get this, while that's happening, your assets, they're frozen. Your family can't access a single penny. Then come the lawyers and the fees. We're talking 3 to 5% of your entire estate, just gone. And the final insult, because it's a court case, everything becomes public record. Anyone can look up who got what. As U.S. Attorney John Chung puts it, it's slow, it's costly, it's public, it's a colossal headache. His advice is simple. You don't want to deal with it. And you really don't want your family to have to deal with it either. Okay, so that's the probate nightmare. It's a big deal. But, and this is a big but, there is a really straightforward and powerful way to completely sidestep this whole mess. The question is, how do you do it? How do you protect your family? And here it is. The solution is something called a Revocable Living Trust. This is the magic key, really, that allows your estate to just walk right past the entire probate court system. So what on earth is this thing? Well, a living trust is just a private legal document. That's it. You create it, and then you just transfer the ownership title of your assets, like the deed to your house, from your name into the name of the trust. And this is the most important part, you lose zero control. None. It's still all yours to manage. Okay, the easiest way to think about this is like you're creating a little company just for your assets. You're the grantor, the founder who creates the company. You're also the trustee, the CEO who runs the show day to day. And you're the main beneficiary, the one who gets all the benefits. See? While you're alive, you're all three. It's your company and your rules. Now, you've probably heard about trusts doing all kinds of fancy, complicated financial stuff, right? But the truth is, for most of us, a living trust has one single job that makes up 99% of its value. And here it is. The number one reason, the absolute main event for getting a living trust is to avoid probate. That's it. That is its superpower. By putting your assets into the trust, they are no longer in your individual name when you pass away. So the probate court has no jurisdiction. It can't touch them. Your instructions take over privately and quickly. But hey, it does have a few other really cool superpowers. You still have total control to buy, sell, or refinance anything you own. It keeps everything completely private, so nobody can snoop on your family's finances. And this one is huge, incapacity planning. If you ever become unable to manage things yourself, your chosen successor can step right in, no court needed. And of course, your heirs get their inheritance way, way faster. All right, this all sounds pretty good, right? But you're probably thinking, is this for me, or is this just for, super rich people? The answer is simple. It's for pretty much anyone with assets in the US. Own a home? You need one. Have kids you want to provide for? You need one. Own a business? You absolutely need one. As a general rule of thumb, if your assets are worth more than about $150,000, which, let's be real, is most homeowners these days, it's not a nice to have. It's an absolute must. So, okay, if this is so critical, why doesn't everybody have one? I think I know why. It's just plain confusion. People hear conflicting information, they mix up different types of trusts, and then they just get paralyzed and do nothing. So let's blow up some of the biggest myths right now. First things first, this is so important to get. We are only talking about a revocable living trust. Think simple, think flexible. You are in 100% control. Its only big goal is to avoid probate.
Now, people get this confused with an irrevocable trust. That's the advanced, complex, rigid stuff for very specific high net worth situations where you actually give up control to save on taxes. They are two totally different animals.
So let's hit the biggest fear head on. Myth number 1. If I put my house in a trust, do I lose control of my own property? Let me make this crystal clear. Absolutely not. With a revocable living trust, you maintain 100% control. You're the boss. You can sell the house tomorrow, you can refinance it, you can give it away. Anything you could do before, you can still do now. Your day-to-day life does not change one bit. All right, myth number 2. This one's all about taxes. People hear the word trust and they think it's some kind of magic wand to make taxes disappear. So, does a living trust help you dodge estate taxes? No, a standard revocable living trust is tax neutral. This means it has no effect on your income taxes or your estate taxes. Why? Because from the IRS's perspective, the assets are still yours. Remember, its main job isn't saving you taxes, it's saving your family from the probate process. And the final one that stops people in their tracks, the "it's too hard" myth. People just assume, oh man, this sounds like a legal nightmare, it's got to be super complicated and cost a fortune. Actually, no. While you should use a professional, setting up a living trust is a very straightforward process. And when you compare its one-time cost to the guaranteed 3 to 5% of your entire estate that will be lost to probate fees later, well, it's one of the smartest and most cost-effective decisions you can make. So let's bring it all home. If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. A living trust is not some advanced, complicated strategy for the super wealthy. It is the foundational, fundamental first step for anyone who owns property in the United States. And this quote just says it all perfectly. Think about getting dressed. If you don't get that first button right, the whole shirt is going to be out of whack. In U.S. estate planning, the living trust is that first most critical button you have to fasten. Get it right, and you'll make sure everything is secure for your family. It's the ultimate gift of peace of mind.